video is about more glute exercises. We've already done a whole series of those in standing. Today's we're going to do lying down. Many of these exercises you have received as home exercise program things related to physical therapy. You've done them in Pilates class. You've probably done them in many other exercise classes or at least seen them somewhere. We're going to review them lying down, and this can be your hip series that you do for outer hip strength when you're on the floor. To start with, I have my mat placed so that my back can be against the wall. You do not have to do that. If you're new to this, it's a good idea to do it the first couple of times with your back against the wall so that you can feel what it feels like to remain in neutral position and not rolling backward. Once you've figured out how to do that though, you do want to pull away from the wall so you can practice that stability without relying on the wall to help you. So to set up, I'm going to lie down. I have a pillow, so head on the pillow. My shoulder blades are actually touching the wall. And my hips are square against the wall, and my feet are also against the wall. I want my hips to be bent and my knees to be bent, but I want my hips to be not too far. Up here, this is too close and too tight of a hip flexion, so bring it out a little bit. And the first exercise that we're going to do is the clam, and many of you have already done that one before. One thing we're going to do in order to ensure stability is take our top hand and just kind of push that into the floor. Okay, I can still feel my spine against the back on the wall. I'm going to take my breath in, so if you've watched the video on breathing, you've already heard me talk about the importance of that. We're going to inhale through your belly, and then exhale and just lift your top knee. Then inhale to lower it back down. Exhale to lift. You should feel the work kind of at your back pocket, all right? Just behind your hip joint, not in front of it. There shouldn't be any pain. If there's pain, you need to stop and readjust or skip this part. All right, that's the regular clamshell. Now we're going to do some fancy ones. The next one we're going to do, we lift the leg just like you did before, then straighten it out, bend the knee, bring it back down. Lift, straighten, bend, and lower. All right, last one like this. Lift, bend, straighten, bend, and lower. By now you should be able to feel that those muscles in the outer hip are working. We're going to keep going. This time we're going to lift your feet up, and we're going to do a clamshell from this position. So holding your feet in the air, but otherwise keeping your hips stacked. Lifting the knee and lowering from here. I can keep using my hand for a little stability. I still think using your exhale here to help you lift and your inhale to help you lower will help you use that core to get as far as you can, stabilizing you. Let's do one more here. Lower down, Then we'll lower your feet and take a little break. The next one we're going to do is actually for the bottom leg. So while the top leg gets into position, it's the bottom leg that moves. So the top leg gets a little bit of a rest. So back to the foot lifted position. Then we're going to lower the bottom leg and lift. So this is just working against gravity. Kind of using the opposite side of the hip is what we do when it's on top. So we're working toward internal rotation. Last one there. And then lower them both down. All right, because the hip does many things, we have other directions to work in. So let's now straighten that leg. And I want you to put your heel against the wall if you're on the wall. So I still have my shoulders, my back, my bottom, and my heel against the wall. I'm going to take a nice deep breath before I go, inhaling through my nose, expanding my belly. Exhaling, dragging that heel against the wall. Now, I only want to go as far as I can without losing this little space here, my little mouse house, okay? If I squish into that, I'm not really getting any more hip work. I'm just moving through my spine. So keeping this space as high as what you can go, and then we're going to take a 5-second count to lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take our breath in. You should be inhaling probably on your lowering. So inhale here. Exhale, lift. And then inhale to lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one more. When done correctly, these are very difficult to do. All right, so we've done rotation and we've done abduction, lifting the leg. What we haven't done is moving it forward and back. We're going to do that next. With this one, we're going to keep our bottom leg bent for some more stability. If you want to, you can pull away from the wall so that you can practice doing it without the wall's help. But for right now, if it's the first time, doing it against the wall really helps you to feel what you're doing. So we're going to take a breath in before we go here. And then we're going to exhale and just kick our leg forward. Your hamstring's tight. It won't come this far. That'll be your limiting factor. That's okay. Then we're going to exhale, squeeze your glutes, and drag that heel backwards. As you're moving, this is called a scissors. As you're doing this, what I want you to feel is that your spine is just staying in neutral. All right? It's not rounding as you come forward, and it's not arching as you bring that leg back. It's just the ball and socket joint that's moving here. And lowered back down. We're going to finish with a side plank position because when you're in a side plank, we have a lot of things working. We have your shoulder working, we have your torso working, your obliques are part of your abdominal musculature, and then we have your hip working. And because we're doing hip work on the ground today, this is going to count. So let's take our top leg and extend it. You don't have to be against the wall as you're doing this one, but it's nice to keep that same position. We're going to take an inhale here. We're going to exhale and press up. You can keep this hand on the ground, or you can reach that hand up to the sky. Another breath, and then we're going to lower back down. Let's repeat that. Exhale, lift. Let's take another breath here. And lower down. All right, now we're going to flip over and just do the same things on the other side. So get your pillow. Get yourself stacked up so you have your shoulder blades and your bottom and your feet against the wall. And we're going to start with that regular clamshell. So let's do inhale, exhale, feet stay together, we lift the top knee. And inhale to lower. One side may be stronger than the other, and one side might also just have more range of motion than the other. Our goal is to work them so that we can get them to be both strong and both to have the full range of motion. Okay, last one here. Exhale, lift that knee, and lower back down. All right, this time we're going to add to it. We're going to lift the knee, extend, bend, and lower. Lift, straighten, bend, lower. And lower all the way down. All right, next version, we're going to lift your feet up in the air. And then you're going to do the full clam from this position. This just gives you an opportunity to move through a greater range of motion. So if your hips are pulling away from the wall and you feel like you're sliding forward, you can kind of scoot back again and then just lift as far as what you can and still keep those the back of your pelvis against the wall. All right, so from here we'll lift up and lower. So exhaling as we lift, inhaling as we lower. Let's do one more here. And then we're going to lower everything back down. We're going to take a little break, and when we lift our leg again, we're going to lift our feet again as they just were. We're going to be moving the bottom leg, working on that opposite direction, doing some internal rotation. All right, so we're going to lift our feet up, and now it's the bottom leg that lowers and lifts. Last one here. and then lower them both down. We're going to straighten the top leg all the way. Heel is against the back of the wall if you're still against the wall. We're going to take our breath in. Exhale, lengthen through that leg, drag that heel, and lift as high as you can without losing your little space here, your little mouse house. Then inhale, reaching the leg long again as we lower slowly. Exhale, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And all the way down. Let's prop up onto your forearm here. We're going to extend the top leg, foot on the ground, bottom leg is still bent. We're going up into our side plank. Top hand can help on the ground or it can reach into the air. We're going to be strong on this shoulder, so not sinking here. Push the ground away, lift through your torso, take a nice deep breath in, exhale and lift. You can reach if you like, or you can keep that hand on the floor. Take another breath. Exhale and lower down. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale, lift. And all the way down. After you've worked your gluteal muscles, it feels good to stretch them. So let's come over onto your back. We're going to start with your left side. Cross your left ankle over your right knee, and then we'll just hug your right knee into your chest. You can wiggle your ankle around on the other side while you're doing this. You can, if this feels like a good stretch, then we'll stay there. If you want to try to get a little more stretch, you can bring that knee a little bit closer toward the center of your body, toward your chest. That gives you a little more stretch on the outside. We'll bring our leg back. We're going to lower that foot down, uncross, put your left side down. Now we'll cross your right ankle over and hug the left knee into the chest. Again, this might feel just right for you. You might want to add a little more to the outside of the hip. If that's the case, you can just bring that knee a little bit closer to the midline. You can also do this by leaving your foot on the floor and just hooking your ankle around your thigh. Both of them can yield the same results. It's just whatever's comfortable for you. All right, then we'll uncross that one, and that completes your sideline hip strength.